Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, welcome to today's very special award presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of honors and the national anthem. Please be seated. At this time, we would like to recognize our award recipient and distinguished visitors in attendance today. Please hold your applause until all introductions have been made. Our 2020 Distinguished Service Award recipient, Lieutenant Colonel retired Garry W. Dudley. Also in attendance today are several members of our recipient's family. Spouse of our award recipient, Mrs. Tina Dudley. Son and daughter-in-law, Mark and Amy Dudley. Daughter and son-in-law, Debbie Dudley Fry and Michael Fry. Grandchildren, Taylor and Austin Fry. Sister-in-law, Miss Sen French, and grandnephew, Travis Blackwell. We would also like to recognize USAFA's senior leader team and thank them for their attendance today. Additionally, we welcome the Honorable Mark Baisley, representative of Colorado, and the Honorable Randy Helms, Councilman of Colorado Springs District 2. And from our supporting foundations, the President of the Falcon Foundation, General Retired Steve Lorenz, the CEO of the United States Air Force Academy Foundation and Association of Graduates, and the 18th Superintendent, Lieutenant General Retired Mike Gould, President and COO of the Association of Graduates, Mr. Marty Marcolongo, and the President and COO of the Air Force Academy Foundation, Mr. Mark Hilly. Finally, welcome to all other commanders, classmates, former commanders, faculty, staff, and friends. Thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedules to join us here today. The purpose of today's event is to present the Distinguished Service Award. The Distinguished Service Award recognizes an individual or group whose contributions have had a distinct impact on the morale or well-being of the Academy through this generous donation of time, resources, or influence. It is intended to recognize those individuals who contribute not as part of their official duty, but through personal generosity and dedication to the institution. The United States Air Force Academy established the Distinguished Service Award in February of 1999. Today, we are extremely honored to recognize our 2020 award recipient. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our 21st Superintendent, Lieutenant General Richard Clark.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone, for being here right now. And I want to start off with a quote from Aristotle, unlike me. But Aristotle says that the essence of life is to serve others and do good. And that's why we're here today. That's why we are honoring Garry Dudley for his service. But what's more like me is to tell a story. I do like stories. So, I got one. So a long time ago, there was a woman in India, and her son ate way too much sugar, so much to the point that it was starting to have a bad effect on his health. And she knew that the only way that she was going to be able to get him to stop was to take him to see his hero, Mahatma Gandhi. So she and her son set off on a journey, and they walked for hours and hours and miles until they got to the place where Gandhi was. And they stood in line because there were so many people that wanted to take advantage of his wisdom, to know what he had to say to them about their problems, their lives, their future. And they waited, and finally when they got up to him, the woman said, "My son eats too much sugar. Will you just please talk to him and tell him how bad it is for him?" He said, "Go home and come back in 2 weeks, and I'll talk to you." And the woman was a little taken aback, but it was Gandhi, so she said, "Okay." And she went back home, hours and miles, and waited 2 weeks, and made the trek again. And this time she came up to Gandhi, she waited in line again, and she got to him. And before she could even say anything, he took the little boy by his hands, and he explained to him how bad sugar was, how terrible it is for your health, and why you need to stop. And the little boy looked at him and said, "Sir, I understand. I'll never eat sugar again." And away he went. And then the mother came up and said, why did you make me go away for 2 weeks and come back?" He said, "Because 2 weeks ago, I was eating sugar." Now that's kind of funny, but there's a lesson there. As a servant leader, it was his duty in his mind, in order to serve that little boy the best he could, to give up on sugar, something that he loved, something that he had been eating all his life. But he knew that somebody needed him to quit eating sugar. And it wasn't about him, it was about that little boy. And he stopped eating sugar for the rest of his life, because he wanted to serve that little boy to help his life. That is the example to me of servant leadership. Gandhi was the example to many of us of what a servant leader should be. And today, I have a new call sign for Garry Dudley. He is the Gandhi of USAFA. No, you can eat sugar. You're good. But the truth is, when we look at what Garry has done over decades of service to our academy, it is all about servant leadership. It's all about service to others and doing good. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But as I told Garry's family earlier today, I had a football coach who used to say, Fisher to Barry, if you see a turtle sitting on a fence post, he doesn't get there by itself. Somebody helped him get there. And of course, we have to talk about Miss Tina. And Garry and Tina met here at USAFA, right in Arnold Hall, where we were just at doing the tapping ceremony about 45 minutes ago or so. That is where they met back in 1968. And they have been married for, next week on July 14th, it'll be 53 years of marriage. That is But more importantly, they've been the dynamic duo of service. I mean, the Batman and Robin, Starsky and Hutch, cake and ice cream, no more sugar. But you guys as a team have done so many great things. and you are so well equipped. She's got a master's in counseling, a master's in teaching, has just been by Garry's side and helping him in all of his efforts, not only professionally, but also in the service arena and what they've done for our academy. So really, this is an award for this team right here. And we're just honored to have you here. And I want to give you just a round of applause. But of course, the rest of the family is here as well, who have helped Garry and Tina along the way. And we have Debbie and her husband Michael with Taylor and Austin. They're all here. Taylor's wearing black today in mourning for the horrible dad jokes that Garry did. So she made it very clear, I'm wearing black because he's going to kill me with these jokes. And I think we're going to get some more of that. I'm looking at his face. But we're so glad that you guys are here. In fact, you guys just moved here from Indiana about a year ago, and bringing the family together is pretty awesome. But then 2 years ago, Mark and Amy moved here and from Pueblo. And so Mark and Amy have brought this whole family back together right now, right here. And I know for the Dudleys, this is a special treat for all of you guys to be here along with the rest of the family. So thank you guys for all the support that you have given to your dad, Mark and Debbie, and to your grandfather, and to Miss Tina. So let's give a round of applause to the whole family. I certainly have some other special guests. We have our Dean of Faculty here, General Linnell Latendra. We have our new, not new anymore, he only new for 2 days, General Moga. Yeah, it's over. New guy status is over. General Paul Moga are with us. Miss Jen Block, our Executive Director of Athletics, is here. And then our Air Base Wing Commander, also not a new guy, but only here for a very short time, Colonel Chris Leonard. So thanks to all of our leadership team, and also our senior enlisted leader, Senior Master Sergeant Treasurer from DF. So we have our whole array of Academy leadership here, and that should tell you just how important this award is and prestigious it is for our school, and how honored